Hi guys, my name is Dennis. So I'll take you through 8 tips for how to clean and format your Excel data. We're going to use what we call flash fill. So I'm trying to, this is a fixtures data that has first name and middle name. They're in one column, column C. So the idea is to take out just the first name from this first name and middle name. So on column D, you right click and insert a new column. Insert a new column. Let's type this one, just first name. So there are different ways of going about separating first name and middle name in this instance. But what we would use for this is flash fill. So the idea of flash fill is it predicts what you're going to do next once you type the first or second cell. So for this, I'll type Michael. I press enter. So when I start typing Simon on the next cell, watch what happens. Simon. You see, flash fill is already predicting what comes next. And you can see Abdul, Kojo, Philip, James, Coleman all appear on the cells below. So I can press enter. Then it populates this for me. So that is using flash fill to extract name from a column that has more than one name. So the second tip we are using is a function called proper. So what proper does is it converts all your small lower cases to a proper case, which is the first letter in a string. It makes it a capital letter. So let's use column C as an example again. You see, you have Michael, you have Simon, you have Molly. They are all in lower cases. So let's go to column D. You right click and insert a new column. So this, let's say where I just is name, let's say name proper. So just do is equal to proper. Click on it. You can tab the function. So what text are you trying to make proper? The name here. Click on it, then close the brackets. So you can now drag to the end of your range. So like you can see, all the names here have first letters as capital for both the first name and the middle name. So it reflects on each of the cell now. So for the third tip, on column B, I'm trying to extract just the numbers from the 5 characters. You can see each of the employee IDs have 5 characters. So I'm trying to extract just the numbers. And numbers are the last 3 characters on each of the cell. So what we can do is on column C, let's create a new column. Right click, insert. So you go to B, highlight it. At the top, you choose your data. Then you search for text to columns. Click on text to columns. It brings out a new window. So from this new window, it says, okay, is it a delimited cell or is it a fixed width? Okay, from what I can see, is a fixed width for now because each of these cells contain 6 characters. So on this, I'll say, okay, fixed width. I click on next. Then I can now demarcate it from where I want it to separate from. So I'll say, okay, this is it. So just split it into 2, that's what I mean. So click on next, click on finish, then it says okay. So I've splitted it. Don't worry about the header. It splitted the employee ID, but that's no problem. So this is just a way for you to split when you have a column that has similar characters throughout from the top to bottom and you want to split it. You can use the text to column to divide it into 2 different parts. So as you can see, it has been divided. So for our next tip, we'll go to column F So let's say this data is a date, but it's a custom date because it has date and time. As you can see, it has date and time. So the idea is we want it to show just the date, not date and time. So one of the ways you can do that is you highlight the column. At the top, you click on home. So on the data type where you have general, you can just change it from general, scroll down to short dates. So it changes it to just date. So it's no more a date and time. This is just the dates we have here. Use the trim function. So in Excel, a cell can have just, let's say, 5 characters. Like you can see Gavin here, but the spaces after the N would count as a character. You understand? And if you don't trim your cells most times, you tend to have wrong data, so it calculates those extra spaces. Let me show you what I mean. So on column F, I highlight it. Column E, sorry. Highlight and create a new column. So let's use a function called length. Length tells you the number of characters in a particular cell. So let's use length equal to len. You open it, bracket open. So we want to check on this column here. Yeah, so we choose on D and bracket close, press OK. So let's scroll down to C and watch what happens. So you can imagine on Eric, that's D8. This is D8. So he's saying Eric, as we can see, Eric is just 4 characters. Okay, that is 4 characters, that's fine. Can you see Evan? Evan is 4 characters too, but what can you see on the right? So Evan is actually showing that there are 12 characters on Evan. That's because it is counting the extra spaces. So if you click on Evan, you click inside at the top, you see that it is not close to the end. That means the extra spaces is being counted. And when you are doing your analysis, this can bring more error to what you're trying to do after you try, when you're gathering your data together. So what we can do is we use the trim function to take out the extra spaces from each of these names. So I can take out, delete column E again, right click, delete. So right click again and let's create a new column. So let's say this is trim. So here you do equal to trim. You open your brackets, you click on the text you want to trim, Dominic, close your brackets, press enter, then drag it down. So this particular column has been trimmed. So what we can do now, let's copy and paste it only, because as you have it now at the top right, you see it is having the function on it. You understand? So what you can do is you highlight it again, you copy, Ctrl C, you understand, you right click and you see paste special, click on paste special, then paste only the values. You don't want the function to be on each of the cells, just paste only the values. You click on OK. So let's test and know the length of this again. So on column F, you click on it, right click, insert. So let's use the trim function, the length function, to know if it is actually the exact length of characters that it holds. Length, close it, you press enter. You scroll down from the bottom right. So remember we had Evan that was 12 characters now. So how many characters do you have now for this one? You can see Evan is 4 characters. So that has been cleaned up using the function trim. So for the next tip, what we're going to try to do is we want to extract just the cities from these cells, like Bridgeport, San Jose, Baltimore, Laredo, Phoenix, Brighton, Ashland, like all the old cities on this particular column E. So one of the ways we can use to do it is we can use the text to column function. So what we'll do is on F, let's just create like two different columns. So here on E, we just click on E, data, text to column. So it brings out this window. So this time around, the easiest way to do this is we notice that there is a comma just before the city. There's a comma just before the city. So what we can do now is we say, okay, we use a delimited, we click on next. So what we'll say is we'll take it out from tab. We'll say look for where you have a comma and put that anything that comes after the comma on a new column. So we can take that as a city. So we chose comma. It was on tab before. We just on check tab, choose only comma, click on next, click on finish. Yeah, it says there is data already there. Do you want to replace it? Say okay, no problem. So as you can see, all the whole cities have been extracted from this address. So you can use it to do your analysis. Maybe if you have, imagine you having like, let's say 500 cells, and you want to know, okay, in this list, how many employees are in this city, how many employees are in this city. So by doing this, you can easily filter. You can filter for it. Click on filter and you know, okay, on Ashland, you have, it will show you the amount of people on Ashland, on Chagrin Falls, and things like that. So let's cancel this. So that is one way to take out city from the address, but it has to meet a specific condition. In this condition, we had just a comma before the city. So I use that comma to highlight and take out just the city from the list of address. So for this next tip, so I created another column, which is column I. You can see this is a USA date format. And the USA date format is the month, the day, and the year. So, and sometimes you can have a data whereby you have a date format on this kind of month, day, and year. But what you actually need is a day, month, and year, just like this one you get. So what you can do is you can click on column I, highlight it, you come to data at the top here, click on text to columns. So on text to columns, the next thing you do is you just say it's delimited. Leave it on the first one, click on next. You get to the next window, you leave it as it is, you go to next. So from this place, the date, you select that this is a month, day, and year. Then click on finish. So you can see it has converted it to day, month, and year. We would want to work on the serial number, which is column H. So at times you have a data whereby, or a cell whereby you have a particular character that is similar to all the whole cells. You understand? And you want to take them out. So one of the ways you can do is to use the substitute function. So let's see how that works. So on this now, I don't want this asterisk. I just want the characters, maybe 932 or DB98. So what we'll do is just click on this next cell, that's the clean serial number, equal to substitute. You tab it. So what is the text you are trying to work on? This is it. Click on the text, put a comma. So what is the old text that is there? That's an asterisk. So in a string character, you have to put a string character in double quotes. So let's do that. You close it, a comma. So what's the new text you want that asterisk to be replaced with? We don't want it to be replaced with anything. We just want to leave it blank. So you have to put two quotes to show that you don't need anything. Just put 1, 2. So when you're done, the instance number, the last what do you call it? The last placeholder is not necessary, so you can omit that one. Then you close it, close the function, and enter. So as you can see, you can highlight it, click and drag from the bottom right. So no more asterisks on each of these serial numbers. They are out. There are a couple of ways to do this. This is just one of the ways. So that's it.